All right, here's a vocab question where it's definitely important that we pay attention to the context and not just pick our favorite definition of the word element. So when we go to the lines here and read the sentence that contains this vocab word, it would be good to find similar structures and similar ideas in the surrounding lines and see what we can guess about what the word is supposed to mean. I find that difficult here, but let me kind of do my best to come up with some guesses. They are the props that hold up the house and sustain the union. But has it been so with this element of slavery? So maybe it means something like this prop of slavery? I don't really know. Have we not always had quarrels and difficulties over it? And when will we cease to have quarrels over it? Like causes produce like effects, so is maybe slavery is the cause of slavery, the effect of slavery. I don't have a good sense. But that's okay. We have a rough sense of what's going on, and now we look at the answer choices. Now, here's another case, too, where if you aren't sure, we still have another strategy that we can use, which is we can take the words that are in the choices and plug them back into the situation. Choice A, ingredient. Slavery is not an ingredient. Butter, milk, sugar, those are ingredients. Slavery is not an ingredient, and I wouldn't want to taste whatever cake it is for, so that does not make any sense. Environment is also not really right. Slavery is not an environment. Maybe it exists in an environment, but we think of an environment as a place, as a setting. Slavery isn't those things, so that also doesn't make sense. And then between factor and quality, again, we kind of have... They're very similar words, but we just need to think about the context. Like a quality maybe is an effect, but a factor might be a cause. So we've got a little bit of matches, but again, slavery is not a quality. Slavery is something that can have qualities, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense to say it as a quality. Like, what is it a quality of? But it could be a factor, right? That word is actually much more vague, right? I don't really have a good sense of when I would use the word factor because it's so broad and hard to define, and that's what it has going for it right now. Is they're talking about something that, has causes and effects. That is the thing that holds up the house. So it's a factor in holding up the house. Like it's vague enough that it doesn't really get in the way. And I think that's the key thing. A and B are very, to me, obviously wrong because they just get in the way. Those definitions, those words do not fit in this situation. And so they are obviously wrong. I think that quality is closer to being right, but it still has this like specificity to the word's definition that we just don't like, right? Like a quality is maybe someone's personality or their physical qualities, right? So slavery is not, it's not like something you can observe in that sense, so it just doesn't really work. But it can be a cause, it can be a factor in why the people are quarreling, right? So we can kind of reword what they're saying and use the correct answer here in a version of what they're saying, in a version of these sentences. It's tricky, but remember, we have two ways of thinking about this. We can go to the lines and try to come up with our own guess. Usually that really does help us and works. But if not, we still have this backup where we can take the words that are given in the choices and plug them back into the sentence and just think about the situation and whether it would make sense to describe slavery in any of these ways. And I think there's only one that's vague enough to make any sense here. C is, I would be pretty confident in that answer.